Hey guys, Jessica here. So, a common question we get asked is what supplements can I take to boost my milk supply? And here's the reason our answer is always to stop and let's look at the situation and figure out one, is a supplement indicated? And two, if it's indicated, what supplement to use? A lot of people think because a lot of the supplements and galactagogues, herbs, medications that we use are fairly common, most people don't think about the risks involved because if it's sold over the counter, they don't necessarily think about it being risky. You know, there's a lot of big supplement companies out there targeting lactation and targeting pumping parents, targeting nursing parents, and preying on that concern for your milk supply. It's a huge business. But a lot of people don't understand how supplements work. So, supplements work to help alter the hormones to influence your body towards being able to maintain your milk supply or improve your milk supply. They are targeted interventions. We don't want you to just take a random herb or supplement, especially at a therapeutic dose. Now, most of the lactation supplements that are out there, I'll be completely transparent when I say very rarely do I recommend any of these advertised lactation supplements because they're simply either they don't tell us exactly what amount of something is in it. I mean, can you imagine taking Tylenol and them just being like it's the kind that could help your headache and not telling you the dosage? No, we would not stand for that because we want to know the dosage. We understand that medications have to be dosed appropriately in order to help us. Two, they're blends of lots of different things, and every herb carries with it a certain system that it's going to target and underlying conditions for which it could be helpful or harmful. And if we're talking about a therapeutic dose, anything that is strong enough to be able to help is also strong enough to be able to hurt. So just like I would not tell you to take Tums for a headache or Tylenol for a stomach ache, I want to make sure that we know, are we targeting insulin resistance? Are we targeting thyroid issues? Are we targeting nutritional deficiencies? Are we trying to influence oxytocin levels? Are we trying to boost prolactin levels? What are we trying to do? Are we trying to aid in achieving an easier letdown? We need to know what we're trying to target. And then for each of those issues, we need to know if you have an issue with your thyroid that we're trying to target. And thyroid issues are a really common one. So thyroid issues often present as a variable milk supply. There seems to be almost no rhyme or reason to what's going on at a particular moment, and it can be very frustrating for moms. We tend to see issues with letdown reflex if we're dealing with hyperthyroid. If we're dealing with hypothyroid, we tend to see a lot of issues with just low supply that doesn't really respond to our normal interventions of pumping or nursing more often. So if we're targeting that, we also need to know, do you have insulin resistance issues? Do you have a sex hormone imbalance? Do you have a nutritional deficiency? Because if you have, for instance, if you have a vitamin D deficiency, it actually impedes your ability of the thyroid hormones to work because you need vitamin D in order to convert the inactive thyroid hormone to the active thyroid hormone. So you'll present with the issues of a thyroid disorder, but we're actually treating a nutritional deficiency. And if we are to give you like an herb or supplement or recommend one that is going to target the thyroid, but we're actually dealing with another issue, it's not going to work and it could actually inadvertently hurt your milk supply. A popular example of this is fenugreek. Fenugreek is a very potent herb that helps to regulate insulin resistance, but it can aggravate thyroid issues. So if you take it, you may see an increase in your milk supply, or you may see your milk supply tanks. And sometimes, if we tank a milk supply with a supplement, we really struggle to get it back, especially if you're not under the care of a lactation professional who has a good understanding of what these herbs and supplements can do, what to be watching for. And typically, I recommend lab work before we start with that. We want to make sure we understand the situation. And if we understand the situation, there's also the very real possibility that this could be the first time that we see a subclinical health issue starts presenting. Lactation is a vital sign. Just like if your heart rhythm is not right, if your temperature is not right, if lactation is not right, it's a signal that there's something going on in your body in most cases. If it could also be that you're not pumping enough and you can't take a supplement to compensate for not pumping or nursing enough. It just doesn't work that way. Uh, And when I say nursing and pumping, I mean it interchangeably. I just work primarily with pumping moms these days because that is my specialty. So I tend to revert to pumping. So sorry about that. But basically, what we want to do is we want to have a good understanding. Now, for those of you who are like, I have no interest in working with a lactation professional, I would rather just kind of like DIY this approach. I'm here for you, and I have a resource for you for that. It's called the Guide to Galactagogues. It's available. I'll link it down below. It is an ebook that is going to walk you through checking symptoms to see what is likely the issue. It's going to walk you through what the risks, benefits, indications, and dosages of different options are. And it's going to go through many, many different supplement options because I promise you what they're selling over at Legendary Milk is only a fraction of the herbs and supplements that we have to try and support lactation. I still am going to recommend working with a lactation professional and getting lab work done and then using a targeted plan. When we do that, I do see a very good success rate. The biggest factor I see there is that sometimes by the time we get a mom in and can start working on this situation and get the lab work, she's too far postpartum. The supply has been too damaged. Her body's actually already triggered the weaning process, and not everybody can come back from that. We saw when people were really trying to relactate during the formula shortage, not everybody was able to relactate. We used to think that if you used the herbs and the supplements and you pumped or you nursed, we would get the milk supply back. And, frankly, what we learned is that that's simply not true. For most people, it is, but for a lot of people, it isn't. And if your body is struggling with an underlying health condition, oftentimes as you start the weaning process or the milk supply drops, your body quickly reverts to the non lactating state and does so quite rapidly because that energy is needed elsewhere. So we do have that guide to Galactagogues if you want to do the DIY approach. I do recommend a lactation professional if you are looking to work with somebody who is skilled with herbs and supplements. There are a lot of options. We just need to know kind of where you're at in terms of what type of herbs and supplements you're looking at. We would need to know like what type of approach are you looking at for your lactation plan. If and we would need to know, are we sure that the supply has been stimulated properly? I wish that we could fix supply issues by just handing you a capsule of something that was readily available and relatively cheap, and it would make all the problems go away. I've talked about this a lot on my channel. I'm a low supply mom. I have been the entire time I've been breastfeeding all of my children. It came with a lot of trauma. It came with a lot of trying different things. I probably could afford a reasonably nice car with the money that I have spent on supplements over 7.5 years during different periods of, trying to fix the problem. But just trying doesn't work. It took until my third baby to really understand, and lactation training, to really understand that I was just using supplements incorrectly. I was using advice from social media. I was trying my hardest. I put the work in, but I didn't get the results because the supplements were treating the wrong issues. And because I was going without lab work, I had no way to know that my issues were far more complicated than what I thought they were. Because even though the lab work shows the issue clinically, I don't present with the symptoms. So I definitely delayed my own success and probably impacted my milk supply quite dramatically by using the wrong approach. So I'm not going to recommend that for you. But if you do want the DIY approach, the Guide to Galactagogues is designed to walk you through that. And hopefully this video helps you understand why when you ask, what can I take? I know you're looking for a quick answer. I wish I had a quick answer. If I had a quick answer, I promise you I would make a video and I would share it with the world because I don't wish low supply on people. I know how frustrating and traumatic it is. We have lots of resources available on my website. We have tools to help you make sure that you've optimized stimulation. We have all kinds of things available to you. We have tools to help you make sure your franchising is right. And the majority of these tools are free because I want to help other parents. But I can't help you by just handing you a list of supplements to take unless we've done the work to really understand the problem, at which time I will give you a list of supplements that I believe could help move you towards your goals in conjunction with a really solid lactation plan. So hopefully that helps answer that question so that you know I'm not trying to withhold anything. I'm not trying to force you to come work with me or force you to work with anybody else. It's just not an answer for which there is a simple, it's not a question for which I have a simple answer. So hopefully that helps. And if you are a low supply parent and you're struggling, know that we feel your pain. We are here to help you. We will help you connect with the resources you need, whether it's working with me, whether it's working with my team, whether it's working with somebody else. I want the best for you. And sometimes that means it's not working with me, despite how much I love working with low supply parents. So hopefully that helps and happy pumping.